Jon Anik must have a struggle somewhere because there are very few things that go on in that company that he doesn't know about. There's very few things that they're working on and trying to get done that Jon doesn't know about. I mean, Jon's access and his proximity to the war room, it's side by side. And I only share with you, like I'll do a show with Jon, and I'll be careful what I ask him, but then regardless of what his answer is, I'll always be impressed because I know he's tiptoeing. I know he knows the answer. I wasn't actually expecting him to give it up or give up inside information, but to watch his mind have to process live with an acceptable response versus the answer that he may or may not have been sworn to secrecy. Secrets are easy to keep when you got a buddy or two that tells you 2 or 3 in a lifetime. All right, now I only say that because if Anik speaks, listen. Don't even question. But he doesn't do it often. Jon Anik does not do it very often. So, Anik has come out. I'm bearing my lead. You guys know about this. Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's the fight. And Anik is saying that fight is going down next. That is the next fight for Belal. Now, I don't know how we got there. Belal versus Rakhmonov is a problem for one reason, which is if Belal wins, there's nowhere to go. Belal can't draw in to Islam. He just can't. He can't after Islam already did him the same favor. Islam said, I will not draw in if it's against you. So, and if Muhammad was to beat Rakhmonov, I would have to assume that's the number 1 contenders match. Now, Rakhmonov, and I'm not trying to slide Jack. That is not my goal here to slide Jack or give you like a underhanded prediction that Jack can't win. I'm just talking about the parity of matchups. We've already heard about Islam versus Jack. I'm trying to throw you like new ideas. Islam versus Rakhmonov is one of the more interesting fights you could make. Are you ready for that? I really mean that. In the entire UFC, it's not number 1, but it's one of them. Islam versus Rakhmonov. That is one of the most compelling fights. Not just for outcome, not just because of records, not just because of what would be on the line. Actual stylistic. The crowd would wonder, who can hit who more? Who can kick the other one more? Who can shoot more on the other one? Who can hold up and have his energy? Like, there is no part of that we would have the answers to. We would question and wonder every single position of that fight. It would just be very fun. But if you do Shavkat versus Belal, now all of a sudden you find yourself in a 50% chance that you can't bring Rakhmonov out of that. And if you do bring Belal out of that, and we've already understood Belal and Islam is not going to happen, I think that you find yourself in a real spot. So I'm giving a pushback to this idea because I love the idea, and most importantly, I love that Belal already has his mind on it. I will watch guys. The world is a big place, and I will watch guys get stuck in the cracks, and they can't get out of them. They stay stuck in the cracks. And your next move, right? Your next move is always your most important move. Your next move off of a loss is such an important move, but there's one more thing to it, which is the time between now and your next move. It is one of the key elements. Don't wait. Don't wait any longer off a loss than you would a victory. Those are some of the keys that all have to stay the same. You keep your demeanor the same. You never let them see him sweat. All these adages that you hear, but they all tie in. You don't let them see him sweat and you keep it cool, but then you take 3 times in between a victory versus a loss in terms of your response. You just let them see you. It all has to go hand in hand. Belal had a fight 2 weeks ago. had Belal won, he would be making his call out right about now. Could be a couple days, could be another couple days. It'd be right about now. And the fact that he is making his call right about now. And Belal, if he would have won, would have called out Rakhmonov. He would have called out the hardest fight that he can. He's doing the exact same thing. Even in defeat, he is calling out Rakhmonov. He is calling out the next hardest thing. I really admire it. Belal's rise to stardom, to the main event. Before you can fight for world championships, guys, you got to find yourself in a main event. You must have the mandate of the masses. His rise was about the hardest one I've ever seen. I mean, he had to put in more time, take more risk. That entire podcast that he does, all this stuff that you see with PR and marketing that he does, believe it or not, is not to line his pocket. It was all to get him closer to having your mandate so he could get to the main event, so he could fight for what he wanted was the world title. Like, all of those things, every interview that he did, he had to go get the cameras and lights and start his own show because he wasn't getting enough interview. He found a way. And I think that it should be looked at and it should be admired to a very high level. But I admire this. I admire that Belal, 2 weeks removed, is going after the exact same fight that he would have gone after if he won. If he won, they would have drawn Rakhmonov into him. He lost. That should get him away from Rakhmonov, right? Don't have to jump on that grenade. He's trying to jump on it. Anik is trying to help him. I am co-signing the statement.